What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Nacho Wrestling. And with Forbidden Door happening this Sunday, I figured what better time than right now to take a look at my Forbidden Door predictions. So with that out of the way, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to stay up to date on all things Nacho Wrestling, and if this is your first time watching a Nacho Wrestling video, then hit that damn subscribe button, because I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers, and I found out recently that only like 30% of my viewers are actually subscribed to the channel. So it'd be great if you hit that subscribe button, and with that out of the way, let's move on to my Forbidden Door predictions. First up, we have Kip Sabian teaming up with the returning Kill Switch to take on Adam Copeland and Christian, aka Edge and Christian, which I will be referring to them as for the rest of about talking this match, because it's easier to say Edge and Christian. Now, for the first time in like 15 years, these two are teaming together, and I saw this take on Twitter, and I kind of agree with it. I wish it was against bigger names. Not necessarily immediately jump to the FTR match. I get that they kind of have to have a tune-up and build up to them being fully friends again. It just seems like there's a way that they could go about it, that they could put them against a more legitimate, established team that kind of feels a bit more impactful to this overall story. And I think the best scenario would be, and you can't change anything about it, if Nick Wayne didn't get injured, you still have Killswitch return, and you have him take Kip Sabian's spot, and it be Killswitch and Nick Wayne. I kind of think that makes more sense for the story overall, but you can't change that, so for obvious reasons, I'm going with Edge and Christian. Next up, we have the TBS Women's Championship as Mercedes Moné is defending against CMLL's Persephone, Stardom's Bozilla, and AEW's newest signee for the women's division, Alex Windsor. This match is going to be really good. I think this is probably the biggest showcase match that the card has to offer, because at least for me personally, I don't know a lot, or I don't know anything at all about Persephone or Bozilla, so it would be really cool to learn about two new wrestlers, and hopefully, maybe they have a good showing. Maybe in a year or two they get poached by AEW and they have this like established baseline with the company. I think Mercedes is winning because Mercedes ain't losing this belt until a one-on-one singles match. I don't think she loses it in a fatal four-way or a triple threat or any sort of multi-man match like that. I think she loses this in a straight-up one-on-one match. I think that's probably going to be Willow Nightingale down the line. That's neither here nor there right now. Mercedes Moné will be walking out Forbidden Door as your TBS Women's Champion. Next up, we have the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship as their champion, Zack Sabre Jr. will be defending his title against Nigel McGuinness. A technical dream match that a lot of people did not think we would ever get to see, because when Nigel made his appearance in the 2024 All in London Battle Royal, I think a lot of people thought it was a one-off. They didn't think he'd return for multiple matches, and he has. It's been a little sporadic here and there. He's had a match in Ring of Honor with Lee Moriarty. He had that Grand Slam match with Danielson, and he's having this match. And by all accounts, those are the three matches he's had so far, or two matches and third that he's about to have. He's being very sporadic in the matches he chooses because he knows he can probably only do so many before he just has to retire again. So I think this is a great match to kind of not waste one on, but enjoy one on. I think these two are going to go out there and do something really fun together. I think a lot of people and a lot of detractors are going to immediately say, oh, Nigel in 2025, he's so old, he's a commentator. Some people forget that he literally invented a whole style of wrestling that is still active in Ring of Honor today with the pure rules. I don't think he invented that. I don't want to actually double down on that, but he fucking made it popular. He was the best pure champion ever. I stand by that wholeheartedly. All the love for Nigel aside, Zack Sabre Jr. is getting the win here because I don't think he's losing this belt until Wrestle Kingdom, until he faces Takeshita. Next up, we have the three-way for the tag team titles as the Hurt Syndicate are defending against Brodito and FTR. I I think a lot of the news stuff going on lately has morphed a lot of people's perception of how this match has come about. and all of that, and the whole idea of another three-way for the tag titles. Like, we just did that at All In. Why are we doing it again? I thought the whole point of the tournament was to get a, one-on-one sort, or a two-on-two, not a two-on-two-on-two situation, but whatever. We're here. And I think all that stuff with MVP not liking Speedball and, them being like, oh, we're not putting over these people, we're not putting over those people, we want to put over this small list of guys. Like, no, I think that's a bunch of bullshit. I think that was a hit piece on MVP. I could be wrong, could be legit news, but it just seems like it was a lot of cannon fodder. And for that, I think MVP and the Hurt Syndicate still are gonna win. I mean, they're super mega over. They're great champions. They bring some legitimacy to the tag division. They bring some aura to a very aura-less tag division that was dead focused on FTR and Young Bucks for the longest time. So I think it's a breath of fresh air for the tag division. I think Brodito as well are a breath of fresh air for the tag division. I think it's just too soon for them to win these belts. I think there's a way that you can book it to where they almost win the match and Hurt Syndicate sneak it away from Brodito, and maybe that leads to a simple 2-on-2 between the teams down the line. So with all that, Hurt Syndicate for the win. Next up, we have for the TNT title, the Protostar, Kyle Fletcher, defending his TNT championship against the ticking time bomb, Hiromu Takahashi. I think this match is a really good meshing of styles. I was kind of not familiar with Hiromu's game. Just hadn't watched his stuff in a while, so I had to go back and get a couple refreshers and watch some of his greatest hits just to remember how fucking awesome he is. And Kyle Fletcher's been doing great stuff lately. I mean, he carried Dustin to a 5-star match in the Big 2-5. Insane stuff. So, not more than needs to be said on this match. These two young guys are going to fucking tear the house down, have a chance to steal the show away from everybody else, especially on where it's placed in the card. But you never know. With all that being said, Kyle Fletcher is going to be walking away your TNT champion. He just won the belt pretty recently. I don't think he's losing it anytime soon. And honestly, he probably shouldn't lose it for a long time. Next up, we have the AEW Women's World Championship as Timeless Toni Storm is defending her women's championship against the fallen goddess Athena. Athena is kind of taking this not high road approach, because I think like the way AEW is using these contracts is you have to execute it ahead of time. So I think she's doing it the right way. I don't think you can come out and just, well, no, Christian executed it after a match. I take that back. So yeah, she's kind of taking the high road approach with it. She said she's going to execute it at Forbidden Door. She's executing it at Forbidden Door, but I think she's going to lose, and that pains me because I love both these women. And I think if you've actively been watching both AEW and Ring of Honor consistently for the past couple of years, or for the past couple of months, I guess, more like a year or so, because like for the past like month or two, Athena's been consistently on AEW TV, so I don't know how much Ring of Honor TV she's been on. I don't watch Ring of Honor that much. I try to watch samplings, but I don't watch it religiously. But if you do watch both programmings religiously, I mean, this is a dream match. This is a dream match. This has just like Hiromu and Kyle Fletcher, like I just talked about. This match as well has every right and every chance to be a show stealer. And if it goes on later in the night, it might be a show stealer, especially if it wakes up the crowd. Nevertheless, Toni Storm is getting the win. If she wasn't losing the belt to Mercedes at All In, aka AEW's WrestleMania, then she's not losing it here at their co-branded event with New Japan. Up next is the AEW Unified Championship as Kazuchika Okada, the Unified Triple Crown, what is it, International Continental, something or other like that. He's got like a lot of belts. He's defending all of them against Swerve. Controversial, kinda, maybe. I think that this match maybe should have been pushed a little longer. Maybe do some sort of like Swerve and mystery partner, like mystery New Japan partner, versus Okada and Josh Alexander or some shit like that. Like, I know that's another tag match on the card, but it's a way to get another New Japan talent on the card. And then could you imagine Swerve pulling out, like, I don't know, Naito? I don't know. Anybody. Literally anybody. Anybody from the New Japan roster that's like a face. Yano. That'd be... Yano. Yes. Yano just to fucking piss off Okada. Because Okada fucking hates Yano. That'd be great. Alright. I'm just saying. Book it. Book it, Tony. The dream match aside, I do think Okada is getting the win for sort of the similar reason of why I talked about Tony not losing her belt at Forbidden Door. I mean, if Okada had lost it All In and was maybe just having a regular one-on-one match with Swerve, I could see Swerve getting the win, because like Okada has nothing. But Okada just won this new belt. This is his first legitimate defense. You're not gonna have him lose. That's just stupid. Swerve also beat the Young Bucks in a huge moment with Will. You're not gonna have him win again. Like, at that point, you're getting to like fucking lol Swerve wins scenario, and you don't want that. So Okada's getting the win. Just like I said with Kyle, Okada should hold this belt for a long time. The penultimate, or technically, if you want to get, with the semantics of AEW, the official and last sanctioned match of the night, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, MJF going at it, trying to get his Triple B back against Hangman Adam Page, the two main characters of the company, going at it at the cross-branded event. I mean, the fucking jokes write themselves. You could have done Hangman versus... Damn, New Japan's really been poached of all their top talent. All their top talent is in AEW now. I guess you kind of have to run Hangman versus MJF now. And then with MJF still having his contract, even if he loses, you could push it and come back to it in like 6 or 7 months or whenever you're ready for Hangman to lose the belt. Because I think MJF is the one that's going to beat him for it. Because why else would he keep the contract? And honestly, the same reasons for Okada just winning the Unified Championship. Hangman just won the World Championship. Wouldn't make sense to strap up a heel again. We need to have Hangman have longer than a 4-month run. At least longer than 4 months. That's all I ask. So Hangman will be walking out your AEW World Champion. Finally, we have the lights out steel cage match. And boy, this match, nay, this graphic reeks of clusterfuck. I mean, look at this. On one side, you have fucking Tanahashi, speaks for himself. Kota Ibushi, speaks for himself. Kenny Omega, just recently battered diverticulitis. Will Ospreay, just admitted on Dynamite this past other night that he needs neck surgery. And Darby Allin, just climbed Mount Everest. Versus Claudio, the Young Bucks, Gabe Kidd, and Mox. And it's all in one ring. I don't know if this is going to be a traditional AEW steel cage or if they're going to kind of have a Hell in a Cell dupe. I have no idea. Literally no idea. Couldn't tell you. They haven't shown us what the cage looks like, obviously. But hopefully it's sort of like a War Games cage, but one. So Hell in a Cell cage, I guess. Goes down straight to the floor rather than to like the apron. And like a little room on the floor. Because I think this needs to be more... The cage needs to be used as a weapon here. There's 10 guys in one ring. This is not a match. This is... no. Not happening. Clusterfuck of it all out of the way. I think Team Death Riders has to win here. They took their big momentous L at All In. They kind of need to come back guns blazing here in Lights Out. I think it makes more sense for them as well to get the win because they are the more aggressive team, if that makes sense. Like Mox, known for his deathmatch ability. Claudio, not known for his deathmatch ability, but he's Mox's number one bitch. So he could do it just as well as Mox, I bet. Gabe Kidd, can get dirty with it. Just, look at his match with Kenny at Wrestle Dynasty. Yeah, and then the Young Bucks. Young Bucks are usually pulling out thumbtacks in their Extreme Rules, or the steel cage match against the Lucha Brothers back at All Out 2021. They brought out a thumbtack shoe. So they're always doing something creative. Or in the Anarchy in the Arena stuff, they were doing something creative. So I think the match itself will be creative and fun. It won't be bad. It'll be like watching those car crash compilations back in high school or middle school. Like you were watching those on the school computer, and like, you shouldn't have been watching them, but you really wanted to watch them because you couldn't look away. But like, you also wanted to look away because you were worried about the people involved, but you wanted to watch. No? Just me? That is it for my Forbidden Door predictions for 2025. Let me know who you think is going to win the matches at Forbidden Door this year. And more importantly, let me know how you guys think AEW can shake up Forbidden Door going forward. Do they maybe put it on ice for a little while and wait till New Japan builds up some big stars? Or do they fully integrate CMLL as a third company involved in the show? Let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to stay up to date on all things Nacho Wrestling, and I will see you guys next time.